Alhamdulillah, we pray for Ghana. And then we talk about the LGBTQ that is coming. We are telling the parliamentarians to take care of, bringing the bill out. We are going to monitor those who will vote to pass the bill. We will monitoring them so that when they are going to seek vote from we will go back and then check them that they shouldn't be voted to parliament again, because they want this bad thing to be in Ghana, and Allah forbid that one.
Sheikh Mohammed said they have received a relevant sensitization on precautionary measures to follow in the selection of animals for sacrifices following the confirmation of anthrax in the country. Former President John Dramani Mahama encouraged Muslims to be moderate in their celebrations to remain safe.
Now, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana observed the Eid al-Adha prayers at the Ahmadiyya Muslim Conference Center at Ashomang. The Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana, Al-Haji Malvi Mohammed bin Sali, said the Eid is not only important as moral and spiritual obligations, but a reminder of the need for sacrifice in nation building.
Hundreds of Ahmadis thronged the Ahmadiyya Muslim Conference Center in Accra to offer prayers to Allah and to uplift His name for the bounties offered them in life. The open-air prayers were led by the Amir and missionary in charge of Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana, Al-Haji Malvi Mohammed bin Sali. In a sermon, Al-Hajj bin Sali said the nation cannot be successful unless its leaders regard themselves as servants of the citizen. He encouraged Ghanaians to be guided by the principles of the Eid for a peaceful coexistence, irrespective of religious, political, ethnic, and other differences.
May Almighty Allah have mercy upon us. May He bestow His favors upon us as a people, so that sooner prosperity, peace, harmony, and the progress of all nature is made to bear on each and every one of us here and on Ghana.
In commemoration of the festival, animals are slaughtered.
And in the Upper West region, the regional minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, urged all to live above reproach and continue to coexist peacefully to develop the region. Swala Abdul Wahab has more in this report.
Al-Haji Yahya Ahmad Nanju, the Imam of the Wa Central Mosque, led the 2 Rak'at prayer at the Jubilee Park. Allahu Akbar. Hundreds of the worshippers dressed in white attire, signifying their gratitude to Allah for His mercies. The overlord of the Wala traditional area, Naf Hussein Usaid Pelpo, was among the worshippers. Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh congratulated the Muslims on the celebration of the important festival. The regional minister said the peace in the country cannot be taken for granted and urged all to protect it. The Imam of the Wa Central Mosque, Al-Haji Yahya Ahmad Nanju, entreated the youth to desist from engaging in lawlessness and support the authority to fight crime. He prayed for peace and prosperity in Ghana, as well as neighboring Burkina Faso and other countries battling with terrorism. For GBC News, Swala Abdul Wahab, Wa.
And from the Bono East region, our correspondent Samuel Ayama reports that hundreds of Muslims said Eid prayers at different locations.
In Techiman, the Bono East Regional Chief Imam, Al-Hajj Musa Abdullahi, who led the prayers, urged the youth to desist from negative acts that tarnished the image of the religion and teachings of Islam. Parents were implored to play their expected roles in the upbringing of their children and ensure they avoid unruly behavior and other social vices. He underscored the need for parents to devote their time to monitor the routine activities of their children and help them make decisions that will shape their future for the good of society. He said the Bono East region was noted for peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians and entreated the youth not to do anything that will tarnish its image. The Bono East Regional Chief Imam expressed worry over the high level of drug abuse among the youth in the region. Muslims were therefore entreated to reflect on the significance of the celebration. Samuel Ayama, GBC News, Techiman.
We now bring you some stories from other parts of the country on how the Muslims celebrated Eid.
At the northern region, the Eid prayers took place at the Tamale Central Mosque due to uncertainty over the weather instead of the usual venue, the Tamale Jubilee Park. Thousands of Muslims in the Tamale metropolis gathered there to offer praises to Allah for his blessings. The Imam, Sheikh Babadia, prayed for economic prosperity. The Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Sanya Hassan Shaibu said the region is blessed in its diversity and urged residents to embrace the spirit of sacrifice, which is a key lesson from Eid al-Adha. A section of the Muslim Ummah in Tamale who did not observe the Eid prayers are expected to do so on Thursday.
The Muslim community in the Upper East region did not make animal sacrifices in this year's Eid al-Adha due to the ban on consumption and slaughtering of animals and meat. At the Bogatanga Craft Village, Muslims who spoke to GBC News were disappointed at the turn of events but believed Allah would accept their prayers. The acting regional chief Imam Sheikh Yusuf Umar, who led the prayers, entreated the people to be patient and support the Veterinary Services Department to complete the vaccination of animals to make them safe for consumption. The Upper East Regional Minister, Mr. Stephen Yakubu, commended the Islamic community for the peaceful coexistence over the years. He said his office is working in collaboration with the veterinary services to vaccinate all animals to prevent them from contracting anthrax.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
At Ho in the Volta region, hundreds of Muslims gathered at the Fiavezongo Park for the Eid prayers to commemorate the Feast of Sacrifice. The Islamic faithful prayed for peace and blessings unto the nation. The Volta Regional Chief Imam, Alhaji Alpha Anas Hamid, called on Muslims as well as non-Muslims to live in peace and unity to pave the way for the country's growth. He entreated the youth especially to be law-abiding and eschew behaviors that put Islam in a bad light. Imam Alpha Hamid appealed to the Muslim community in the region to contribute to the realization of an Islamic senior high school project at Ho Zongo. The Ho Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Divine Boson, urged the Muslims to unite and eschew division tendencies. Some Muslims in the municipality also commemorated the Eid prayers at the Mfojo Park, led by Imam Muniru Ali Muhammad. He advised Muslims to exercise restraint in a bid to resolve conflicts in their communities.
From the Eastern region, correspondent Michael Teyamate reports that about 2,000 Orthodox Muslims in the New Juaben North and South municipalities in the region converged at the forecourt of the Central Mosque at Kufuridia, Srodai, to observe the Eid prayers to thank Allah for his protection and mercy. The Deputy Eastern Regional Chief Imam, Alhaji Ali Abubakar, who led the prayers, urged all Muslim faithful to follow the examples of the Holy Prophet Muhammad to lead a meaningful life. He said Ghana is endowed with many cultures and urged all to tolerate each other's cultural practices to promote peace. The New Juaben South Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Isaac Apeujasi commended Muslims for a successful Eid and urged them to continue to pray for the country to come out of its financial woes. 2 rams were killed to signify the day. The Ashanti Regional Chief Imam Sheikh Abdul Mumin conducted the open-air prayers for Orthodox Muslims from the municipality and parts of the Kumasi metropolis at the newly rehabilitated and expanded Central Mosque at Asawasi in the Asokore Mampo municipality due to the sudden change in the weather. But unlike previous years when attendance and participation in the prayers were heavy, the number this time around was substantially low. Sheikh Abdul Mumin led the congregation in their usual prayer session, after which he recited portions of the Holy Quran. He later prayed also for divine protection and guidance for the president and his government, the Asantehene, and the peace of Ghana. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei Mensah, who led a section of the Regional Security Council, reminded Muslims of the essence of the Eid al-Adha festival and to show love and compassion to the vulnerable and needy in the society. He entreated them to take formal education of their children serious for their personal and national development. The open-air prayers for the Ahmadis were similarly disrupted by the rains as they had to relocate from the school park to the assembly hall and classrooms of T.I. Amas. The start of the prayers here were delayed for the rains to subside to enable many more worshippers to participate. Their prayers were led by the Ashanti Regional Missionary in charge, Maulvi Abdul Hamid Tahir. Maulvi Tahir reminded Ahmadis of the importance of the festival, which implies submission and obedience to Allah by all his followers. The chief imam for Dunkwa Zongo Wanga line in the Upper Denchura East municipality of the Central Region, Sheikh Abdullah Sidi, as part of the Muslim prayers, advised the youth, especially the Muslims, to behave well, refrain from activities like excessive intake of hard drugs and robbery. Sheikh Abdullah Sidi also prayed for the peace of the nation and the entire workers of GB.
The Central Regional Chairman of the NDC, Professor Richard Esiedu, has thanked the people of Asin North and Ghanaians in general for supporting Mr. James Gyakye-Quayson, who won the seat in Tuesday's by-election, polling 17,245 votes to beat his contender, MPP's Charles Opoku. The regional chairman said the victory is a wake-up call for the MPP that the people of Asin North cannot be taken for granted. He spoke to our Central Regional correspondent, Kinsley Nanabwedu.
They got more because if not money that they said, they would have even gotten that 12,000. Mind you, they had 14,000 something in the last elections, and today they have dropped whilst we have increased. So if they don't know and they try anything towards the MP or the good profession of, they will suffer. We are also urging them to do their roads. They have to continue with it because for Asempana to Kusia, for example, the road they did for just a week is deteriorating. The road is already spoiled with potholes. So if you look at a paramount chief in good standing like Nana Prajensen, and you do such a road for him, it may not show respect because we were in Kumaru when we saw the type of road that was asphalt road they did for Kumaru. Doesn't Central Region deserves better. So we are just watching them, and I know very soon the water will find its own level.
Meanwhile, supporters of the NDC organized a float in Asin Breku through some towns in the Asin North constituency to celebrate the victory.
It is Wednesday here at Asin Paso area in Asin North, and the election has ended. And like you all know, Honorable Gyakye-Quayson was the one who won. So this morning we came to gauge the mood, and like you can see from our back, you can see from the videos, the people are so excited and they are having a float. So people from the adjoining communities are joining. They are going to Asin Paso, and we are told that is the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party. So they're going to end there and come back. So it is all over here at our sing-off, and this is the excitement, this is the jubilation from the NDC.
NDC as a party, we didn't take this election for granted. We never told ourselves to say, yeah, we. So we've always had the energy of working hard, pushing up, making sure that we get to this final destination.
So last 4 years, differences in what to compare and track. This time around, we are hoping
it couldn't be a barrier. And Nigeria was a room. Someone else solid. And of course, rightly so, they needed to do it because the election has been one of very competitive. So winning it this way definitely a cause for celebration. From Asembaso, Kissing and Abredo. Report.
Now, from the victory of James Gyakye Quayson, let's turn our attention to science. The International Rice Research Institute, IRRI, is partnering with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and Jospin Group to boost rice production in the country. Under an agreement signed in Accra, Ghana will tap into the expertise of IRRI for improved rice technologies and build the capacity of rice growers and researchers with the requisite knowledge.
During 2017 and 2020, the country spent $845.9 million and $2 billion on rice importation, poultry, tomatoes and other items. Industry players say the role of scientific research in farming is imperative and there is the need for partnership to reduce rice importation and deal with food insecurity. The new partnership between the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI, and Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and Jospin Group will ensure that there are nutritious, high-yielding and climate-resilient rice varieties in the country, as well as new production methods to harness the potential of these varieties.
Our three imperatives are about making farming profitable and ensuring the smallholder farmers benefit from that. The second is about making sure we do that in an environmentally sustainable way. And the third is about making sure the food that comes from that is as nutritious and healthy as possible. And if you can achieve those three imperatives in unison, you will have huge impact.
Ghana's rice consumption has almost tripled in the last 10 years, with an individual consuming approximately 45 kilograms of rice per year. The Director General of CSIR, Professor Paul Bonso, said his outfit is focused on scaling up the rice industry to replace the large and increasing quantity of rice being imported. The chair and founder of Jospin Group, Joseph Siao Japon, said it is on record that Ghana spent over 6.8 billion cedis to import rice.
Since government embarked on rice production and to be able to let Ghana become self-sufficient in rice production, it has become a very serious challenge. As we speak now, we are importing so many things and the country is in crisis in terms of financial. So what do we do? All what we have to do is to contribute and support, and so that we show forth very good love for this country.
The partnership was brokered by the High Commissioner, Madame Florence Akono, who visited IRRI head office for technical advice and collaboration with the Ghana Rice Pro.
A planned review of cash-out fee on mobile money by telecommunications group MTN has been withdrawn. MTN says it is maintaining the current cash-out fee of 1%, capped at 10 Ghana cedis and will be charged over the wallet. Days ago, MTN issued a release stating that from July 1st, 2023, customers will experience an increase in fees for cash-out transactions above a certain threshold.
Now, in a recent SMS circular sent to its customers, MTN informed them about the adjustment mobile money withdrawal transaction fees. According to the circular, cash-out transactions below 2,000 Ghana cedis will now attract a fee of 1% of the transaction amount. However, for cash-out transactions of 2,000 cedis and above, a flat fee of 20 Ghana cedis will be charged directly from the customer's wallet. The telecom company has since apologized for any inconvenience caused.
We'll be right back.
Don't go away. 20% and an additional 12.5% VAT on sanitary pads, according to groups advocating the removal of the 12.5% VAT and the 20% import tax on sanitary pads. The taxes have caused an increase in prices of pads. However, the Association of Ghana Industries is advocating for support for the local pad manufacturers to produce cheaper and quality pads rather than the removal of taxes.
The Ghana Revenue Authority classifies menstrual hygiene products as finished goods and are therefore subject to import tax. This has made the pads quite expensive and inaccessible to many women, especially those in the deprived communities of Ghana. Campaigners in Ghana have been advocates for the removal of taxes and import duties on the menstrual products to ensure its accessibility and help improve the menstrual health of women. However, the Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries thinks otherwise. According to him, local pad manufacturers should be supported technically and financially to produce the pads at a cheaper price than the influx of the foreign ones.
Today, most of the companies that are producing this sanitary pad, they are struggling. They are struggling because of the unfair competition. Some of these products are smuggled in, the quality is not so good, and the price is already quite low. So if you remove the import duties, we are virtually collapsing the local industries. Indeed, one of the major producers, which everybody knows, I don't want to be mentioning their name as if I'm doing advert for them, but I mean everybody knows Fates, for example, the company that they are producing below 30% capacity. So that makes it a very, very difficult situation for them. And you need to pep up such companies to increase production volumes and then employ our people. If you call for a reduction or a removal of import duties on the imported products, what it means is that you're actually killing these companies completely.
So that is the position of the Association of Ghana Industries. They are rather calling on government to support local industries so they can produce quality sanitary pads that will be affordable for all. And one company that was mentioned by the Chief Executive was Faye International, which is currently producing below 30% their capacity. This is Janine Heg Ali, the Managing Director of Faye International, a Ghanaian-owned manufacturer of sanitary towels. For Jenny, the company since its inception in 1980 has advocated for the accessibility of sanitary towels to women all over the country. This, she says, have been done through their delivery of free sanitary towels to communities for 43 years. According to her, the removal of the import duties on sanitary pads would lead to the collapse of local manufacturers and the loss of jobs.
To have the opportunity for all girls to be able to afford sanitary pads. But when you only look at imported sanitary pads and omit to look at the situation of manufacturers, local manufacturers who are highly compliant, what you're doing is then looking to cripple local industry. So I think that it is a poignant issue. It needs to be addressed, but I think we need to sit critically and make the right decision for the girls, for the end users, which is priority, which is key, but also to look at not crippling local industry.
She calls for a fair competition on the sanitary pads market so that Ghana does not become a dumping ground for cheap foreign sanitary pads.
So lots of sanitary pads that come into the system sort of not all of them get regulated. Some come through the porous borders. We've even seen expired sanitary pads in the market, and that's not to knock any of the regulatory bodies, it's just a state fact.
Out of the 30.8 million population in Ghana, 51% are women, so the call to have access to sanitary pads at an affordable price is in order. However, the AGI and Jenny say local industries have the capacity to produce quality sanitary pads to meet the demand, and what is required now is for government to put in place measures to support them and make them competitive on the market.
Micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, are the backbone of economies worldwide, playing a crucial role in job creation, innovation and inclusive growth. Now, recognizing their pivotal role, the Ghana Enterprises Agency has marked the day in Accra by raising awareness of their significance in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
On June 27 every year, MSMEs Day is celebrated to honor their role in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. They account for up to 90% of businesses, 60% to 70% of employment, and account for half of global GDP, according to the United Nations. They are a huge asset to Ghana's economy and a driver of job creation, as the Apex government agency mandated to promote and develop the MSME sector. The GEA has over the years rolled out a number of initiatives to fuel economic growth. Through training and capacity building programs, business advisory and financial assistance, MSMEs have been equipped with the right tools to put them on a trajectory of growth. The Chief Executive, Ghana Enterprises Agency, Mrs. Kosi Yankee I, said over the years, the agency has supported over 900,000 MSMEs to grow and succeed, and looks forward to developing their businesses to benefit communities positively.
The MSME sector drives the economy, and so we must celebrate it. We are proud of the role we play in supporting the MSME sector to grow, and we take pride in the fact that businesses are embracing and utilizing all the support services that we churn out of there. We have equipped MSMEs with the right tools that have put them on a trajectory of growth, and we will continue to do so to help them succeed in the long term. That is our promise on this day.
The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Stephen Amoah, said putting business on trajectory of growth requires discipline, including proper bookkeeping and separating ownership from control.
Those with limited liabilities, even sometimes when they have issues, if they don't deal with the person, they deal with the company. Because the business money is not your money. Once you understand that, you move. But if the smallest challenge, you go and take money from your business money, you're collapsing the business. You can only spend from your profit. That is where you separate ownership from control.
Some MSMEs shared their success stories.
I don't have anybody who is a politician, but we were able to receive a substantial money to support our operations.
We are so grateful to Ghana Enterprises Agency for all the support that we have received so far.
The theme for the 2023 MSME Day is Building Resilient and Sustainable MSMEs to Create 1 Million Jobs.
And that's it for the business news, brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go.
Let's do some news from across our borders. Mr. Julius Maada Bio has been sworn in as President of Sierra Leone for a second term by the Chief Justice immediately after the National Electoral Commission declared Mr. Bio the winner with 56.17% of votes against the main opposition APC candidate Samura Kamara, scoring 41.16%. The Commission's announcement comes after 3 days of political tension and serious violence in some parts of the country, especially opposition strongholds where security forces shot and killed several people.
According to the National Electoral Commission, Julius Maada Bio won 1,566,932 of the total votes cast against Sumura's 1,148,262. There were 2,789,808 total votes cast across all polling stations in the country, with 10,883 invalid votes counted. This is the second time Sumura Kamara is losing presidential election to Julius Maada Bio. In 2018, Sumura lost by 3 percentage points. In the latest election, he has lost by a massive 15 percentage points. As President Bio begins his second term in office, he now faces the huge challenge of governing a massively divided nation that is not at ease with itself. The Sierra Leone economy is in serious decline. Unemployment, especially youth unemployment, is at record high. The Leone has lost over 60% of its value since 2018. Inflation, especially food inflation, is running at over 40%. Foreign investors are shying away from Sierra Leone, and government borrowing is at a record high. The Bio government will need to continue relying on foreign aid to keep the country going.
Parts of the tourist sub that imploded on the deep dive to the Titanic, killing 5 people, have been seen for the first time since the incident. Metal wreckage from the Titan sub was unloaded from the Horizon Arctic ship in St. John's, Canada on Wednesday. Photographs showed metal pieces from the sub covered in tarps before cranes lifted them onto tracks. U.S. Coast Guard officials have said the submersible landing frame and a rear cover were found among the debris. All 5 people on board the vessel died on 18th June after it imploded about 90 minutes into a dive to view the famous 1912 shipwreck, which sits at a depth of 3,800 meters in the North Atlantic. We have some sports news up next.
Sports news. The Queens of Africa Rugby begin their pre-qualifying tournament for the Olympic Games in Paris from July 1 to 2, 2023 in Lusaka, Zambia. Ghana's 7th team, the Eagles, have left the shores of Accra to battle for a slot for the Paris Olympic Games.
These are members of Ghana's 7th women's rugby team, the Eagles. They have left the shores of Accra to Lusaka, Zambia. They are participating in the upcoming Paris Olympic Games pre-qualification tournament. Ghana is in Pool B with Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and DR Congo. Pool A has Algeria, Senegal, Egypt, Zambia, and Mauritius. The Eagles, who have been preparing since January in Accra, are hoping to pick one of the 3 slots available for the continent.
Now, the first Obuasi Cricket Festival has taken place. More than 100 boys and girls aged between 8 and 15 years participated. The initiative by the captain of the senior national women's cricket team, Ryder Ofori Amanfo, was to inspire the next generation of cricketers to introduce the sport to the students at school-going age.
The cricket oval at the KNUST Obuasi campus was the venue for the maiden edition of the Obuasi Cricket Festival. More than 100 youth participated. The one-day event, organized to revamp and re-energize active cricket in the Gold City under the Ashanti Regional Cricket Association, saw 54 boys and 46 girls registering to participate, while several others numbering 30 joined the fun from the football field later. With the youngest being 6 years and the oldest 17 years, coaches took participants through the various catching drills, bowling, batting intermittently for 2 hours before a demonstration match by the coaches and few participants who have been introduced to cricket. The initiative had support from the Underground Mining Alliance UMA, some passionate cricket lovers, as well as the Ghana Cricket Association. Senior national men's cricket team captain Samson Kwesi Awia, who was there to support the initiative, said the impact on the participants was 100%.
This hasn't happened before in Ghana. We need more of this, so we have more kids and more new kids learning the sport. So we have a base for cricket. That's like the grassroots cricket coming alive in cricket to make sure our future for the game is secure.
Organizer of the festival, who is also the captain of the senior national women's cricket team, Ryder Ofori Amanfo, says her aim is to make the festival an annual event to ensure cricket speaks its glory days in Obuasi, Ashanti region, and Ghana.
I was thinking about how cricket went some years ago in Obuasi, so I decided to revive cricket in Obuasi once and for all. I am planning of going outside Obuasi for this program, especially Kumasi and then its sub-cities around.
Other female cricket national players, including Rashidatu Salia, Kate Iwua, Mariam Ishan, Cynthia Kunedwa Nkobia, and Ellen Utu Asante, helped train the youth. Coaches Prince Jula, Peter, Prince Obey Menu, Dennis Amponsa, Marja Mohammed, and national coach Ubed Havi were present to offer their support.
It's a very interesting game and I like it.
This one is special
and exciting activity, and I encourage a lot of students or not even students to come and practice it. This will help them.
The way they bat, they bowl, how the wicketkeeper hits, that's what makes me happy.
Pundits of the sports believes Ghana cricket needs more of such programs to get the future secured, while seeking for sponsorships from corporate bodies to keep the game alive.
The Ghana Beach Soccer League Match Day 2 action produced 58 goals. Now, General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Prosper Harrison Addo, is upbeat. More surprises will be churned out in subsequent matches.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So week in, week out, we'll see score lines and then we'll see changes on the table. But we are going the long haul. So let's not use just week 2 to determine anything yet. the teams are still finding themselves, and they will settle, and then longevity, stamina will come in. By week 7 going, we'll see the real teams standing up, and those who have started early, if they can maintain their composure, we'll see. It's a league, and so week in, week out, we are guaranteed excitement. I'm glad that it's been exciting so far.
And that's all we have for you in the sports news. We shall be back with more.
In the art segment, the drama following Yvonne Nelson's memoir unfolds as Ghana's most decorated rapper Sarkodie has responded to Yvonne Nelson's in a song denying the allegation of impregnating and forcing her to have an abortion. The actress made the revelation in her book, I'm Not Yvonne Nelson, and what transpired between them.
The chapter 8 of the memoir, I Am Not Yvonne Nelson, became the word on the streets since its release few days ago. The actress detailed the pain, neglects and nightmares she had to suffer ever since she committed an abortion upon the advice of the man responsible for her pregnancy, rapper Sarkodie. Well, many are those who lashed on the rapper for such a terrible past and treating a woman horribly. But that will not be the end to the actress rapper tales. We woke up on Wednesday and boom, King Sark has come out with his side of the story.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie, we had a thing. First time I thought you were cool till I had a hint. Now me feel the boys I clock it with the baddest bitch. That's a sign of yin I so Cuban links.
Not only did he deny the allegations, but hinted that he got wind of the actress' infidelity and